Hear those sirens? It's an emergency here. This is a bit too wild for me. Let's take care of this runaway branch on this espaliered apple tree. Espaliered apples should look something like this. Now, I need to prune these, but I'm going to wait till the summer. And that's because I want to prune for fruit production, and that's done in the summer. In the winter, you shape it. But I'm not ready to do that on everybody here. I've got a big task in mind. Before I start with the other ones, I have to tackle this. I don't know what the heck happened here. I must have just not seen it. It was veiled to me, but this looks like the trunk, and I know it's the trunk that has most of the apples grafted to it. The main trunk is down there, but then there's this big one, and one of them over here, one of the apples that I want that was grafted on comes right out of that trunk right there. So how did that happen? Were there two trunks and I just didn't realize it at the time? This one coming up and then it split, and I just didn't see that. It was really small when I got it. So I need to remove this because it's growing all the way up there. I think I was just letting it go as an experiment, and now that experiment has, you know, it's a Frankenstein kind of thing. It's out of control. I have to make a decision what to do. This is going to be a tough one because this is a huge, huge trunk. Am I going to cut it down here at the notch and sacrifice this whole side branch, or just cut it above and leave this side branch? I think I'm going to cut it above because it may survive and this may heal over. But if it doesn't, I'll be able to cut it off down further later. Okay, two-step process. But first, I'm going to start chopping away up here. Let's get on some gloves and get this done. First, I'm removing all of these side branches because I don't want to get hung up on the arbor as I'm pulling this main trunk down. You can see it's just, I don't really care how I'm pruning them. It doesn't really matter because they're going to be given away probably to somebody who barbecues, or I'll use them elsewhere. I love a wild garden, but when it starts to be a hazard to a structure or even the health of the plant, then that's too wild for me. Let's get those guys up there. Well, that's kind of cool. I'm digging this notched branch thing up here, so I think I'm going to cut it up above and then preserve this, and then try and keep it with the main trunk when I cut that off. Maybe we can find a fun use for it. Here is what I'm running into. Up above there is a wonderful grapevine, interlocking. It's great, but it's intertwined with the branches of the apple tree. Yay, here it comes. The last one I did was so intertwined with those grapevines I had to prune them as I was going. Now the grapevines need to be pruned anyway, coming up here in another few weeks or a month, so I'm not worried about that. But for now, here, real time. Yay. Look at that, a beautiful long straight apple branch for some lucky person. This guy here has too many branches to pull it through this hole in the trellis, so I'm going to have to push it up and over. Yeah. It fought back. I didn't see that coming. Okay, but it worked. Well, now I have to cut off this whole trunk down here at the bottom, but this structure is so cool. I don't want to get rid of it. I mean, I'm not going to throw it out. I'll cut it off at the bottom, but I'd really appreciate you giving me some ideas on what this could be turned into in my wild garden. I'm just drawing a blank. Maybe a torch, but I don't want to destroy it. An animal nest somehow, but then you might not be able to see the structure of it. What would you do with that? Here we go. I have to trample over my sage, but that's okay. It's very resilient. I have to cut off this trunk down somewhere in here. And first, it's going to be hard, but I'm going to cut straight across this. No, my leverage is going to be better this way. How am I going to do this? Plus, I want the water to run that way. Okay. I do want to cut it down this way. It's going to be harder for me unless I stand over on the other side. That's okay. I'll manage. So I'm going to cut it straight across a little bit this way, just so that when this gets cut, it will be a cleaner cut down here. And I'll show you what I mean. All right, wish me luck. Just coming in straight across. A little bit, not a lot. Just enough so that when the angle cut is made, it won't split at that point. This is turning into a lesson on how not to prune. So I cut straight across this way, and then I started to angle down here, but my angle was too sharp, or I didn't start high enough, either one. But what happened was I was going to end up much further down below my original ending point. So I had to come into the original first cut I made and start slicing upward this way to try and meet this. It's not pretty. You don't want to do it this way if you can help it, but I think it will turn out okay in the end. If I look on the other side, we have a good matchup down in there. We are matching up pretty much. With the two cuts will come together. Well, I got it. I did. But it wasn't without some effort, a lot of effort actually. Okay, there it is. It's not super pretty. I will need to clean it up. You can see here how there's this ledge. I didn't intend for that. So I'll probably clean that up. And I did nick the branch I wanted to keep. That's another insult to this tree, and you know, hopefully in a place where it can harbor disease. So hopefully these will both heal up nicely. I'm expecting some nice weather perhaps. And there you have it. Kind of what not to do, but what to do also if what you did didn't turn out the way you think. Here it is. Now that's just plain fun, right? We'll do something with that. That's more like it. Can't wait to do a little bit more pruning on all of them. Until next time, keep dreaming in the garden.